Some say a playoff race as intense as this one can turn into something hotter than hell, but this time by tonight, we take it northeast to cool that down somewhat. The 2.5 mile tricky triangle. This is Pocono Raceway, and this is the Body Shop 188 as qualifying gets started here in Pocono. I'm David Kreutz. I'll be your host for tonight's broadcast. Great to see you all as we get it started, and great to see our defending race winner, once again, the 3-time winner this season, in James McKee, back on a roll here as he's currently 5th on the board in qualifying. Top man as it stands, the fastest man in practice. It is going to be Chad Winstead once again going to that top seed with a 54.299. This 2.5 mile circuit, one of the longest ovals that NASCAR goes to, is right up there with Daytona and Indianapolis, only bested by Talladega. And right now, this tricky triangle is indeed proving to be a bit of a challenge for most drivers, as right now, Chad Winstead has that pole position in his hands. Alan Kuhlman, though, looking to try to get back to him here as he comes across the stripe. This time by, he is faster. Last time through was about 10 thousandths of a second off the pole. This time through, his lap will be quicker than his first, and it's going to take up there with a 54.086 this time by for Winstead. Needs a run off the exit. Will he get it? I'm not sure if he will. They're dead even at the line, and it looks like that will be a 54.299. Drops him down not one but 2 spots as he now falls third to Roberto Ramirez, and Kendall Kerr takes it from his teammate, is now the top man here in qualifying. How about that? Things are getting started. Brad Kress going to be in 6th. Matthew Rodriguez goes into 5th and now falls down into 6th as Dylan Clark, done with his run, going to back it down. The Watkins Glen winner brings back the same Northeastern paint scheme for this second trip to not New England, but the New York, Pennsylvania, Connecticut area. This is the tri-state, and right now Scott Zellner on his way. Tyler Rush going to be in a rush. However, he's 16th on the board. It's going to be Adam Bozzi right now, one of the guys very close to that points standings lead, and he had it going into, of course, our last race at Pensacola, but James McKee came out on top, and it was inevitable to see McKee up there fighting for it, but it was a bit unexpected to see him as the man that eventually got it done. So right now, Bozzi on a bit of a back foot here in the championship hunt. He'll have to work at it a bit more if he wants any chance to keep it going. Bearcat Motorsports on the side of his car tonight, and the playoffs starting very soon. He'll have to keep an eye out on that as well. Caleb Morrissey going to be on his way, and it looks like he spins that time by, and he's going to get right into the wall after turn 1. So no run for him. It looks like 34 seconds on the board. That will be it. And Dylan Body not going to be on the track right now. Robert Kenny is, though, and he goes down the backstretch this time by through turn number 1. He first was, now turn number 2. Going right by that tunnel turn, an infamous turn here in Pocono Raceway, and an iconic one all the same. He takes it quite nicely, but it's going to be 13 seconds on the board. A drag race to even get a lap in. We'll see what or not he can, riding aboard with Robert Kenny. And gets a bit wide that time, but I think that is going to seal it, and the number 10 machine might not have a lap on the board, and he disappears from your screen as soon as our timing and scoring system does. And you know what that means? It's time to get that starting grid up on the screen. We're getting it right here, right now, live on FTN. The Body Shop 188 is getting ready to get going. And quite frankly, Pocono Raceway, one of my favorite tracks on the NASCAR circuit. And tonight we get a tour for 75 total laps that do culminate in a 188-mile event. It looks like your grid is getting settled right now. Alan Kuhlman is going to be on, but to get this starting grid started, we're going to have to look first a man in that number 21, and that will be his teammate. This is, without further ado, your starting grid for tonight's event in the Body Shop 188, and let's get right into it. His pole sitting, it's going to be for the number 21 machine of Kendall Kerr with a 54.001, almost under that 54-second range. How about that lap time as Alan Kuhlman goes in there in second with a 54.068. DJ Stagner, far from stagnation, is always putting himself up in front, third on the board for the former champion, a 54.11 for him. Roberto Ramirez is going to be in fourth with a 54.239, and Scott Wheeler going to be there, 54.272 in his end in 5th, as Casey Escher rounds out the Super 6 in 6th, 54.286 for him. Then it's going to be Chad Winstead in 7th with a 54.299, and then Dylan Clark in 8th with a 54.302. Once again, representing FTN, as Matthew Rodriguez is going to be in 9th with a 54.343, and then Brad Kress rounds out your top 10 here with a 54.3 6-1. Let's go from there. Going to be 11th spot on the board, Terry Brooks, and of course going to have that 54.37 right next to defending winner in James McKee. He has a 54.416 in that 12th spot, and just outside the top dozen, returning to racing, Scott Zellner back on his way in the Pampers number 2, and right now 54.424 to put him right next to Toby Wedgwood with his highest qualifying position this season. How about that for Wedgwood? 54.444 as Anna Bozzi going to start on the score and being 15th, 54.445 is 1,000th of a second off. How about it indeed? Corey Blevins going to be 16th. Outside row 8, 54.458. And it's going to be Tyler Rush in 17th, 54.474. Kenny Brooks going to be in 18th, 54.488. And the Justin Gibbs going to be in 19th, 54.452. Drivers are rolling off here. Dylan Petit going to be in 20th. Their poster is not going here, and that might be an EOL penalty. More about that as the night goes on. It's going to be Colton Garner in position number 21, 54.4. Is not going to be where he is, 54.636 for the 40, as Connor Holm holds on with a 54.683. Then it's going to be Robert Tenney, final man with a timed lap here tonight in Pocono. Going to be a 54.712 for him, as the remainder of the field goes as follows. 24th, Ryan Potter, 25th, Caleb Morrissey, then 26th, Jacob Harris. 27th is going to be Andrew Baker, and 28th going to be Jacob Hom. Chance Duckworth, 29th, and 30th will be Dylan Body, and that will be your starting grid for tonight's event in the Body Shop 188. It looks like Kendall Kerr does eventually get on his way there. Good to see on our end, though. It did not look like he was moving originally, but now back up there with the front of the field. So let's get to it as I cross through the tunnel turn one final time under pacing, and the deliberation between drivers right now, it is of course intense. Everyone wondering what the strategy is going to be. Will we make it past turn 1? We actually got a bit of a tip off to how it's going to go this night, because a lot of times in this league before they've gone to Pocono, and turn 1 usually sets the tone. They make it by clean, we might just have a clean race. Well, if they don't make it by, we might have a bit of trouble, almost like Groundhog Day, Pennsylvania, Puxatony Phil, but tonight it's going to be Puxatony Pocono, if that even makes sense. Quite frankly, those are two towns, not necessarily two things, but tonight Kendall Kerr gets to take the test first. His shadow's right there, but will he see a bit of chaos in the rearview mirror? Let's find out. The Body Shop 188 going to be on its way as the iRacing official pace car is off. Let's go racing in Pocono. Side by side through the tunnel turn, we make it past the first and the second right now, but Kendall Kerr in a fierce battle with his teammate already for the race lead. The 21 leads them all down into turn number 3 this time by the final turn on this circuit. 3 turns, where's turn 4? What turn 4? I'm not quite sure as they come down to the front stretch once again. It's going to be single file for the most part, but Kendall Kerr has that edge, as you can see them all going down on the back. A lot of momentum coming on the outside line. A few guys trying to try the inside, and you can see now Scott Zellner right there, Terry Brooks, Adam Bozzi, as they all get into it. It's going to be Terry Bludgeon there in the chat. Let's go number 9. McKee makes the move for 10th, and Lighthouse Visuals, I'm going to say Chad GPT, Winstead going to be in frame for just a moment there in the Valvoline machine, number 34 with that number B2. Keep an eye out for that battle, as Kenny Brooks going to be in the mix as well. Going to be down the back, putting some power down for Services and Supply Incorporated. Justin Gibbs going to go down to the inside of his own right, and he'll be there on the hustle. Going to be now in the 17th spot. Wedgwood going to be fighting 3 wide. They're going forward to the back of the field. Take a look at that. Gardner going to be in a big fight with Duckworth, Tom, and Baker. And right now, these guys in the back, almost as intense as it is up in front, as you can see, coming through the field, double file in the mid-pack, but up front, it is going to be Alan Kuhlman now in control in that number 8. Flow Racing's number 8 goes with the Flow. 2 Flow Racing machines inside the top 5 in Kuhlman and Hescher. Where have we seen this before? Well, it's at Dover. And that was the last time, quite frankly, we were up north, and that was Dover, Delaware. Right now, it seems like these guys come to shine whenever we take it past the Mason-Dixon line. Down the first segment here, it's going to be all the way to the tunnel turn. Alan Kuhlman leads on a 5-car. Little train here is going to get moving, and they have left the station. Roberto Ramirez is going to be down to the inside line his own way, but he's got an awful lot of drivers to keep an eye on. And right now, Chad Winstead tries to make a move with the quarter panel there. Brad Kress going to think better of it, and he will think a bit more until he makes his next move as he sees Dylan Clark go out to the high side there, try to get the ball rolling. Not a lot of banking here in this third turn. I'd be shocked, but no, they're going to be able to take it 3 wide there. Going to be Bozzy, McKee, and Winstead. 2 championship contenders right there with each other. And Dylan Clark going to blink out just a moment. My, oh my, you saw the static shot that we got almost by accident, but it was a great look nonetheless. And now that 27 is still fighting 3 with Winstead and Rodriguez. They keep it there. The number 51 machine now has something going on the high side. Will it work off exit? The momentum might just prevail. And right now, it looks like it's awful close to doing so, and that it does. Now, going to be Emrod up in front of that battle. Chase McKee going to be in 9th here, and Dylan Clark going to be in the 8th spot. And now, it looks like Brad Kress making quick work of Roberto Ramirez will be the goal, as the top 3 are now Wheeler, Kerr, and Kuhlman, as it seems like 2 drivers have fallen off of this train, and it's going to be surfing through this track out the subway as the 8 leads the Blacktop Racing 1-2, and then Scott Wheeler trying to make a bit of a sandwich as he goes down to the inside line, and here he comes as they come through a bit of door banging here, and Kendall Kerr goes up high. My oh my, 5 laps in, things are getting real tight. And it looks like there, Scott Wheeler does let, of course, the 97 machine pass through. Kendall Kerr lets him by. Going to be a tale of 2 races so far for these guys. Wheeler driving up, Kendall Kerr falling a bit back, and it might be all about conserving the long-run pace, tire saving. We've seen an awful lot of it on this channel as of recent. Drivers, their races live and die by some strategy based on tire, and tonight could be no different. The way these guys are driving, I would not be shocked that that's the case, but it's going to be Kendall Kerr going down the inside line, and once again, top 3 in their own world. Casey Eschel barely hanging on with Roberto Ramirez not in sight. It's going to be now DJ Stagner in the 5th spot, as the remainder of the field getting real lost up in it. It's going to be Matthew Rodriguez almost losing it in his own right there, with Corey Blevins in 11th as they come down the back once again, make it 6, and a few drivers are in the mix more than others are as well. Going to be Ryan Potter seeing a bit of action behind him. Caleb Morrissey takes it through the inside on Toby Wedgwood, and Wedgwood with its best start all season long in the 14th position has now fallen back a total of 9 spots into 23rd. Toby Wedgwood coming back after a season of absence in season 14, had a part-time schedule at the very end of that season, but nothing more came out of that number 52. He's back, however, in the next gens and trying to learn them. It's only the 2nd season this league has used these next gens machines, and that, well, of course, might be something a bit hard to tell with the way these guys have mastered it up front. The guys in the back are still developing here, and Pocono, it is the tricky triangle after all. It's throwing a bit of a curveball to some of these guys here deep in the field. Every driver within still 8 seconds of the leader. Dylan Body did not run a lap. He's not on the track right now, but all the drivers that took the green flag are still there as Baker battles with Duckworth and Jacob Hom. 7 laps through. Alan Kuhlman already working his way with a major gap now. He's got 0.8 of a second and looking to break the draft here at one of the fastest tracks in NASCAR. As it stands, these guys are going to get 160 miles an hour, and as they come down into the tunnel turn, Kendall Kerr hits a speed of about 186 miles an hour before backing it down and getting it all wound up again, going down to only about 150. And the thing about this track, Pocono, well, it's more unrestricted compared to a track like Talladega. You can get it as fast as you want it without a bit of a buffer in the plate racing style. We don't see it here, but as a sort of compensation or as a payback of sorts, these guys do have to back it down big into each and every turn. Alan Kuhlman still leads them as Casey Eschel now on that back bumper for a second. Let's see what he does here as this man is going to go forward, and he tries to go for the flow as well. It's going to be a big slicing move, and is it going to be decisive enough? That it is. Kendall Kerr gets almost shaken up, and that was too close for comfort. And number 21 now drops down 2 more spots, finds himself in 4th with big pressure in 5th. That was an oh-so-close moment for the number 49 machine. Let's get an instant replay of the matter and see just what that was. I can't believe it myself, and you can see by this point they were already separated. Let's get a close-up drone shot and find out what's going on. Quite a loud shot on my end. We're going to take down that volume, and here it is. Heschel goes down to the inside line there. Look at this. Tries to make it so, and just enough room to make a pass, but the door banged big, and both lose an awful lot of momentum. Very risky, but Casey Heschel made it work, and Kendall Kerr playing the long game and playing it smart. He's only about 2 car lengths back as is, so recovering very well as Casey Heschel holds on strong in that second spot. Scott Wheeler going to be in third, Kendall Kerr going to be in fourth here, and Stagner is in fifth. Your top 5 are now about 3 seconds adrift from the James McKee crew as he's going to lead another 3 of his own, 6th, 7th, and 8th. The big pack is going to be in the middle here as it looks like now it's going to be led by the man in that number 11. Trout coming to the chat. Thank you for stopping by. Chad Winstead is this pack's leader as Corey Blevins runs away from it. It looks like Chad Winstead can only hope to accept it as he's got an awful lot of guys on that back bumper. Take a look at this as we ride on board with the number 34. And as you can see, Winstead right there just inside the top 10 now in 10th. Has multitudes of drivers up there. Wedgwood going to go high just a bit in the back of your frame. But now Chad, with a bit of clean air, is trying to chase down Corey Blevins as getting that escape from the pack is all the driver wants right now, especially in the early going 10 laps through. You haven't missed all too much if you're just tuning in live on FTN. The Body Shop 188 is just getting started here. And right now, Chad Winstead, who knows it, is trying to catch up to this second pack. Corey Blevins, how about the number 13 having a great string of races running up front. The top 5, top 10 pace, especially at tracks like Michigan. And now it seems like a fast track like Pocono. Talladega coming up on the schedule too, so keep an eye out for that. This could be yet another strong driver to look out for. An underdog of sorts in this league, looking for win number 1 on the season. Blevins right now holding on with proven drivers such as McKee and the number 29 Brad Kress is a newcomer, the rookie in that number 5 machine takes the pass, and now the 5 machine goes into 6 for FTN. He makes it so, and he's going to go right where he wants to go, lap number 11, and he's going to be there in just outside that top 5. And Alan Kuhlman is still your race leader, but last time we checked him on, he had a 4/10 of a second lead multiplied by 2, and it was an 8/10 of a second lead. Now we're going to have to divide it back by 2. He's back down at a 4/10 of a second buffer, and these guys are gaining just about half a tenth every lap. It looks like that time through, though, Alan Kuhlman gained a lot more time, of course, or rather he lost it as these guys behind him get a lot more time on Alan Kuhlman. It was Kuhlman's 9.48 in the decimals compared to Casey Heschel's 54.670. And quite a wide margin. These guys are going to real quick and look at this, a big draft zone, and these guys are using it. The tunnel turn, if you take it perfectly with momentum, you can gain big, and now they're only about a quarter of a second away from one another. The 49 is going for it here. It's a sponsorship 1-2, Flow Racing on Flow Racing, and they could do battle here, and now going out of the first turn, it's going to be the biggest zone for banking. Heschel has been aggressive, and that's exactly what he's going to prove once again. The 49 goes for it on the inside line, and Alan Kuhlman just going to have to hold back. He's side by side with his teammate, but not much more to do right now as Heschel takes that lead from the remainder of the field. And now it looks like Dylan Clark still far back, but he's the man who leads the majority of this pack. And James McKee right there with him. That's going to be Brad Kress, Corey Blevins, and finally Chad Winstead. Winstead got that momentum and got it going as Alan Kuhlman losing some time major here. Looks like something just happened to him. We'll find out just what. Instant replay on the matter. And he went way wide there through that tunnel turn, loses big momentum. Has to catch on to the back end of DJ Stagner if he wants anything out of it now. About 4/10 of a second off though, and it looks like something in the mechanics of the number 8 machine is going adrift, and he's going to have to do something, of course, to counteract it. And 13 laps in out of a total of 75. Dylan Clark making the moves. He's getting a bit quicker time after time, and that time through compared to Alan Kuhlman, who's about 2 seconds faster, and he could be able to get into that draft range. However, right now, still about 2 seconds off the draft range in its own right. It's going to be Kuhlman getting that pack back. He has enough pace to do it if he can just keep the mistakes out of order, and it's going to be the number 13 machine making a bit of a move on the inside line of Brad Kress, but he does not stick to it, and it looks like that move was only just to show he wants to do something, but does not know just when. Roberto Ramirez is going to be in 11th right now, a winner this season, but looking to get it once more. Hadn't done in Michigan on an incredible fuel strategy, but now the number 42 looking to make it consistent. That's what he's been going for since the end of season 14. A winner last season as well, but not able to contend for the championship this season. And the last, looking to put the pieces together. Scott Zellner gets it right into the wall, slams it big. Everyone avoids him, thankfully, and we'll be able to keep going just like that. Scott Zellner going to be continuing his way through. Dylan Petit going to be in that number 31 machine right now, going down to his inside line. That will be all she wrote for Zellner in his top 15 run. If he can't recover from here on out, that remains to be seen. That number 9 machine is doing 7th, and right now the second pack is growing in its pace. It's getting faster and faster compared to the second pack behind it. And right now, the leader's not much of a pack at all. It's more of a train, as they have not gone side by side for quite a while. Except for now, Kendall Kerr goes out of the inside line, getting him a taste of his own medicine. Casey Heschel gets it, and now Kendall Kerr gets the lead. How about that? 14 in, and we got a new race leader in that number 49, and then the 21 took it right back here, posted her back on top. Now, as this night goes on, take a quick look at our race information. A lot going on here in the Highline Racing League. Of course, the Baadteshop 188, but the race information shows that we do have, in fact, 2 stages that don't have breaks. That's what we do here in the Highline Racing League. We don't stop the action no matter what. We have no exceptions for just that, of course, except there is a caution. Right now, though, we do not look to be on pace for a yellow flag, and our first stage break coming at lap number 20. Our next going to be at lap number 40. Take an eye on that one as we take it off the screen. Lap 40, of course, in a while, but lap 20 very soon, as Heschel still is the leading man. Gets it right back from Kendall Kerr that time by. You guys are swapping the lead back and forth, as now they're side by side for third. The 97 machine going to be there with the 64. Alan Kuhlman gets right back up on that back bumper, but Dylan Clark right now looking as quick as he can get it. Coming down the front stretch once again, he's gained his own sort of draft here, and he's got more speed than the pack behind him. Has something really dialed out, and he seems to be the fastest man on the track. The front pack got a bit distracted that time by the side-by-side battling. The last lap was a 55.3, and for Dylan Clark, it was a 54.7. Now that second group is in frame, and the top 5, well, they had the drive away. Right now, it looks to be going away. See whether or not they get it back. However, things are looking to change here in this event, and it could be more of a double file battle for the lead rather than a single file stalemate up in front. However, Caleb Morrissey going to go side by side with Matthew Rodriguez, and Morrissey on his way up was outside of that top 15 the first time we saw him on this broadcast tonight, but now looking to be closer and closer to that top dozen. As he gets closer and closer, certainly going to be a reminder for these guys to keep up the pace. A very challenging track to keep that pace up. To take one of the corners just a bit wrong, or take it a bit wide, take it a bit shallow, everything could fall apart. And look at this beautiful panning shot. That number 6 machine right in the middle of it as they go down into the first turn. Every driver knows that inside line is the place to be. It's a very momentum-based track here in Pocono. Get those turns right, and you can the straightaways as sort of a speed boost. Right now, though, the big pack is laying back and making sure they don't get wrecked, so cut them some slack here as it looks like the action is a bit sparse compared to usual. Scott Zellner down on the inside line. He was, but now Petit gets him, and that number 31 machine has his way here, so look at him go as he's got Scott Zellner still defending on him, and it's going to be the number 81 machine of Connor Holden right in the mix. Now, we mentioned that Scott Zellner has not been on the racing tour here in the Highline Racing League for quite a while. The winningest driver in this series, well, he has more things, quite frankly, than sim racing in his life. And you might tell by the Pampers sponsorship, but welcoming the birth of his first child, Miles Zellner, welcoming him to the Highline Racing League family, of course, from my family to his, and we truly do hope that it will be a great experience as a father for the first time. The number 2 machine, a great driver, but we're certain he'll be an even better father. Right now, going to be running in 15th on his return race, getting his feet wet. Been a while since he's been on the sim, but he still seems to have some good pace, getting marred by an early incident that we did cover a few laps ago, but getting himself back into a rhythm, that's going to be the goal for the number 2 machine, as Matthew Rodriguez holds on to that 51 right in front. And these packs are getting more and more distant, making you think might just get more of a strategy race than anything. At Pensacola, had an awful lot of cautions. That was a short track battle like no else, a last lap pass. It all came down to that. And now the 64 was really close last time through. Now as close as it can get, as they're going to be going 3 wide all the way down to the inside of the track. It looks like Wedgwood does as well go there, but it's going to be 3 between Blevins, Press, and Winstead, and the number 13 has the edge, comes up just a bit on James McKee, and they touch just a bit, but not going to be anything major. Brad Kress going to be able to make a beneficiary of himself, and that 29 has a run down inside, and as they all file through, it might be the 29 with something, it could be the 13, but Chad Winstead gets the edge and keeps it rolling. Lap 9 19 out of 75 here. Down the inside line, Winstead goes. He knows that he's got this position, and he wants to hold on to it. It will be next time by 1 lap until the first stage is over. And you know, Casey Heschel wants to win it. Take a look on the rear end and see how fast Alan Kuhlman comes up on him as they come through the front stretch. The longest segment here to get for draft. It's going to be 1 lap to go here in this stage. So let's see what the number 21 machine does. And let's see if the 8 tries to get into it as well. Down to the first turn here. The number 49 leads the way. And Casey Heschel still has it made. Looking for his first win of the season as well. Has gotten close but no cigar. Had a great race at Dover. But James McKee ran away. And it has not been the same ever since. As the 49 and now back for the first time since then for a direct shot at the win. Right now he's going to hold them honest through the tunnel turn. Kendall Kerr has that momentum, though. Getting a bit closer compared to the remainder of the pack. Could Blacktop Racing steal a stage win? Let's find out as they come through the final turn here. The number 49 still has the edge. And as we get through this time, unless we see something of a shocker for the 21, I do believe that it's going to be Casey Heschel coming down the line. Here we see the fans are on their feet as the winner of your first stage is there on display. It's going to be Casey Heschel getting it done from Pocono, but it's not over yet. That's going to be the first stage. Now on to the second, as it's going to be 21 laps in out of 75. First 5 cars still in direct contention. A good majority of the field is still close. Don't count them out. Not a lot of guys are non-factors just yet, and everyone has a partner to go with here. It's a bit of a dance on a track like this, not a super speedway, but you have to be on your feet as if it's was. So every driver looking out for themselves right now, making sure that what they've got is not going to be temporary. They want to keep it on all night long. As you can see, these first 5 are trying to make sure to make it to the end in front of everyone else. But the fastest man on the track right now is indeed Dylan Clark, and he's getting closer and closer to the tail end of this top 5. He was almost out of frame for the good majority of this first run, and now he's right there in it, and he might take center stage as that time by only about 1/10 of a second slower, but he still is the closest man to any draft from the leaders. Take a look back. James McKee going to lead him down with Winstead and Kress and then Roberto Ramirez as Dylan Petit falls squarely in the middle of this pack in the 17th position. Every driver still on the lead lap. Last man on it is Andrew Baker, 24 seconds back as they all come roaring down the back stretch. Dylan Petit, they're going to go side by side, and he will be right there with Rodriguez. And Rodriguez right up to him there, gets him a bit woed up, but it won't be all too much as he only falls back into the 17th spot once again. It could be a crossover move though, as now that 31 goes down to the 22 laps in, trying to make it happen. One man on the wall, though, that's going to be Kenny Brooks there in the 54 as the back of the field still driving hard. 54 going to get a bit roughed up there. It looks like these guys in the back there are still pushing that with 10. Ryan Potter caught up in the tail end of the field here for Swamp Motorsports. Jed Duckworth going to be right behind him right now. They'll be battling McKenny Brooks going down on pit road here. And I'm not sure if that's due to the damage we saw on your screen or if it's due to a pit stop on strategy. Let's find out. As you can see, the 54 comes in. A bit of damage on that right side. No other driver has made the choice to go in just yet. Could be a bit of an alternate strategy for the 54, and it might work out, it might not. Nothing is certain, as we still have more than 50 laps remaining. Now, with that being said, more than 50 laps remaining means that Casey Heschel right now might just be taking it easy. He's got a lot of time up in front already. Second stage is already on the horizon when it comes to its conclusion as they come down the front once again. That number 49 doing the same thing that Alan Kuhlman did all those laps ago, building a gap on his own, though they're all going to go back right up with him as he tries to break the draft. The swoop will not work. No to say right there with them. It's going to be Kenny Brooks and Andrew Baker right now on pit road as it stands. They're both down there. Might be the first stops for guys in the back of the field trying to switch it up and shake things up as Casey Heschel in the Flow Racing 49 just needs to wait and see how everyone else plays it out as the bottom 2 drivers in the field have gone down to pit road. The man who was running last in the field indeed is there. Kenny Brooks got some damage, then had to go down, and it looks like the number 54 going to be on his way. Andrew Baker follow him shortly thereafter, but it looks like he's going to get it with a much quicker pit stop. Maybe not. We'll see if that number 43 can get out before the leaders get there once again. He's already 1 lap down as is. Could go 2 as Heschel leads down the top 6 drivers in unison. And that time through, Dylan Clark makes it more and more obvious that he wants to be in this leading pack, and he is getting that much closer. Now within 1 second of Scott Wheeler, 25 laps in. The first third of this race has been all about clawing time down and clawing time out of leaders, as Dylan Clark has done that masterfully, and he seems to be proficient once again at driving tracks that are sort of like road courses. Out of all the ovals on the NASCAR Tour, Pocono's always been compared to one of those road courses. And take a look inside the cockpit. We'll check out whether or not Dylan Clark is shifting, and that he is in the 4th gear right now. Might take it up the 5th, we will find out. It looks like the drivers are not running at that 5th and final. Goes down into the inside line, makes it 68, 67, 100 revs a minute, then puts the power back down and gets that exit rolling quite nicely. He's getting faster and faster, just using those smooth inputs as an advantage over the remainder of the pack. And smooth, steady, and sometimes it might be slow, but slow is smooth and smooth is fast. That's what my dad always says about iRacing, and it seems like it's working quite well for Dylan Clark. Very minute movements, just making sure he corrects it where he absolutely wants it to be, no matter where he is on the track. 4th gear all the way for him. Driving it quite well. The revs per minute are an indicator that these drivers need time in, time out. Most often than not, you can tell more of your speed by the revs a minute compared to the iRacing dash, which tells you your miles an hour. Right now, these guys might be referring to the tachometer for any information, and relying on what you see in the car is most often more reliable. Now, iRacing's added a new feature which you might see in play tonight. It's called Auto Fuel, which automatically calculates how much fuel you need in a pit stop. Coming across the line this time by, you might not see them, but they're all going to be there. It's the 49, and he will have to pit here tonight a minimum of 1 stop, the way these guys are driving. How it stands, though, it seems like that number 21 machine is still going forward when it comes to lead, and it's going to be side by side, not thinking about pit stops right now. And you can see that number 49 is still fighting like it's nothing. 21 like Kendall Kerr going to be on the move. Where's the Lighthouse delivery? Quite frankly, not sure. We refresh our paints every night before we go live, so these are the most up-to-date paints that these drivers have. I'm not sure if you're looking for on Chad Winstead's end, but I don't see it. And we'll check once again. He's got that Valvoline paint scheme on our end. We do refresh these every time we go live. This is up to date on our system, so dearly apologize if there was supposed to be a situation, but I don't believe that's something we can control tonight. He is running in the 7th spot, as is, however, might be something there, as we don't see much changing for him. We don't see much changing up front. 27 becomes 28 here, as Heschel leads from Kendall Kerr and Alan Quinlan. Going to be DJ Stagger in 4th, and Scott Wheeler there in 5th. And Scott Wheeler going to be right behind the tail end of this pack. It's going to be Stagner trying to go behind that time, and he sees that Alan Quinlan might be in a bit of trouble when it comes to his momentum, trying to take that 3rd spot away, and it looks like he just might have it. Stagner coming through the tunnel that has that edge. It looks like Alan Quinlan falls back just a bit. He's now got one beside him and one behind him to keep an eye on, both of which looking to get that spot from that number 8. Right now, Quinlan, while on the inside line, sees that Wheeler has all that momentum, and Alan is now all out of sorts, and Dylan Clark has joined the party here. He's now getting right behind 2 drivers that have been up front all night long. The perfect crossover to get one. Now going to try to go get the next, as he is still the fastest man on track, about a half a second last lap compared to the leaders, and he is there where he deserves to be in the fight, making 29 laps in, and he's already halfway through stage 2, picking off drivers one at a time. And now going to go down for Scott Wheeler and DJ Stagner at once. Stagner now has to keep an eye out, as that 64 is in the hot seat to get passed by the fastest driver on the track. The number 5 machine is still there, 29 laps in, got close that time through his first lunge for the 3rd position, almost made it happen, but decided to think better of it and wait for another opportunity. Whether or not that other opportunity comes, though, right now the 49 has held them all steady, and the draft has been stable. Stagner back in 3rd, quite surprisingly for some. Dylan Clark is in this race. Pretty far back in the pack early on, but got himself settled down, settled out, and now he is settled in that top 5. In the 4th spot as it stands, as Quinlan and Scott Wheeler Jr. going to do battle once again. The 8 and the 97 now coming to fall off the pack just a bit. Chad Winstead is in the 7th spot. Going to be Roberto Ramirez and Brad Kress going side by side. The 42 and that number 29, and take a look at that as Ramirez keeps it going. It's going to be 29 machine of Brad Kress showing that he indeed has what it takes to get something when it comes down to those positions now. 30 laps in out of 75, and it's going to be Casey Heschel still holding on here with Kendall Kerr there in second. Stagner going to be in third, and Dylan Clark is still there in fourth. Now Dylan Clark's a bit spread out for the top three guys that might have burnt off his stuff on that first run, and that could come back to bite him throughout the rest of the night. 30 laps through. That number 64 is now looking to push through once again. As that number 5 right behind him, the fastest man for quite a while, but right now it looks like Dylan Clark's magic might be drying up. He pushed as hard as he could to get up front, but now that he's here, what more can he do? The fastest man by himself is now in dirty air, and he's going to have to adapt to it, and quick. The bubble, it is brewing, and it is building between the top 3 and the guys behind 4th, 5th, and 6th in their own pack. Chad Winstead now only within 2 seconds of this group, and Casey Heschel knows better for him to have fewer drivers around him, less chance of being passed, and a less chance of being passed by more drivers all the same. He'd rather be a 3rd from 1st than 6th from 1st. But right now, the positions he will drop on a pass would be minimal, and that advantage, it is clear. Right now, the 49 almost has his own frame, the top 3 right there in it, and they are still only separated by 0.6 of a second. Take a look back. Wedgwood fighting big with the number 10 machine of the 27, of course, as well. It's going to be Kenny and Bozzy. Kenny going to be in the 10, Bozzy in the 27 as they go side by side once more. Rookie stripes on one, the veteran fighting for the title on another, and right now, Bozzy, the better run. James McKee is in 10th. Not the best run for him, but likewise, Adam Bozzy a little further back than he wants, and maybe a little further back than he needs to be. He wants to stay right in it. The body shop 188 taking a toll here in the tricky triangle, and the 27 knows and have to take a sun to get back out up front. It could be savvy pit strategy, it could be straight up pace, but right now getting hounded for position number 19, and Robert Kenny wants it bad. Take a look at this down to the inside line. Bozzy blocks. Will it work? It looks like it does. Not just right. Going to be a bit of contact, and now Kenny goes high, and Adam Bozzy does as well. And now it's going to be the Wedgwood machine putting himself into this mix, and they will now be a side-by-side battle if it all goes well for the 52, and that it does. Double file for position number 19, and now Toby Wedgwood gaining spots back. He was down to 23rd. He's up into 19th, and he completes his pass. He's dead even that time by, and Bozzy gets shaken up, and now it looks like the number 52 has been awakened, and he is fighting as hard as he can. He gets right back in line, but he is getting closer and closer to that top 15. And looking back in front once again, Casey Heschel there in first, Kendall Kerr in second. These guys up front have been staying stable, and it looks like 33 out of 75. These guys are getting closer and closer to the halfway mark. Going to come at just about lap 38 or so. So 5 laps to drift. Lap 40 going to be your second stage break, and then we go from there. The checkered flag, it will fall at lap number 75. Indeed, these guys have kept it nice and steady so far. It's going to be Connor Holden right behind 72, Tyler Rush right now, the closest battle on the racing circuit. It looks to be right up in front of us, and let's take a look at who those drivers are. It's going to be actually a bit further behind these guys, but right in front of our screens, it's going to be Matthew Rodriguez there with Scott Zellner, and as he goes up to the high side, Zellner protects it down low. Defense will be important as they go down and in. That number 2 machine now has something going. Caleb Morrissey, the Channel Lock 6, is looking to lock it down and lock it up, but right now they're going 3 wide almost. It looks like Caleb Morrissey does defend well on the number 51. Rodriguez going to fall back just a tad, but Scott Zellner is still really close to making something happen, and he's going to try to do it here and now. Down and in, it's going to be the number 51 of Rodriguez. Tries to make it happen once again. It looks like Morrissey has the better of the both of them this time by, and watching with the rear end of Caleb Morrissey. That number 6 is now in the mix of a very deep battle. That 51 goes deep into the final turn, trying to get something happen to escape the wrath of Scott Zellner as they come down the line. Once again, the stripe will be held by Casey Heschel as he leads lap number 35, and it looks like the number 6 leads this battle for 13th, just outside the top dozen. Looks like he's been there a while, Caleb Morrissey has, but now Connor holds. He's a side-by-side battle between James McKee and Tyler Rush. This would knock McKee off the top 10 if, of course, that 72 gets what he wants here, and he might just do, of course, just that. He's right there with the 9 machine. 9 has had it for quite a while, but Tyler Rush has used that time to learn every move in the playbook, and right now he's using them quite well. Down to the inside once again, James McKee keeps it going, but not going to be good enough. It looks like they're going to be making big contact in the back. It's going to be Zellner. It's going to be Terry Brooks. They save it. I don't believe that's going to be a yellow, but that was a close call, and Zellner gets the worst of it. Terry Brooks going to be in a bit of trouble as well. Looks like he's going to have a similar incident, but it was Zellner goes down and around there, and that number 2 now falling big time back. Let's find out just what happened in depth. It was at the corner of our screens, but we not get a quick look. Well, we got a quick look, but not a more in-depth look. As you can see, Rodriguez in the wall. Brooks got there as well. So did Zellner, and Zellner gets tapped not once but twice. First by the wall, and then by a driver. Get going, but he loses an awful lot of time and has to come down pit road immediately thereafter. Casey Heschel leads as he goes through the smoke show in the tunnel turn, and the tricky triangle takes its first few victims off of on-track incidents. How about that? It is getting real intense here. No retirees just yet. Kenny Brooks is 3 laps down. Andrew Baker is 2 down, and Adam Boss is 1 lap down as it stands. Scott Zellner has an awful lot of damage. We'll see whether or not he's able to continue from here on out, as the pace might be hampered from here, of course, to there, the end of the race. But right now, 1 lap until the cross flags do indeed wave, and Casey Heschel still has it out in front. The drivers up here might kick it into another gear, because I know they want that win as much as the next guy. Right now, though, they might be playing back for that third stage, as the second stage will conclude. Casey Heschel has a chance to get it done for not 1 but 2 stages. Looks like Kendall Kerr has just been in the back bumper playing defense, as Dylan Clark said the magic might have run out. That is not the case. He's right there with the top 2, and now once again the fastest man on the circuit. How about this? But tire fall off, it has been major. These guys are running about 1 second slower than they were at the start of this run. Not sure if they're going to go all the way on fuel tonight. No, they're not. Kendall Kerr goes down to the inside line, and this will be your first pit stop for strategy. Kerr leads DJ Stagner and leads Alan Koodman as they all come in for the first cycle. A one-stop race this will be, as we have reached the halfway mark. 38 laps to go and 38 laps in. And strategy now getting intense. The first few drivers come in, led by Kendall Kerr and DJ Stagner. Going to be a group of about 5-10 in this frame. Wedgwood going to be the last of which, Casey Heschel and Dylan Clark out in front. The undercut has already been executed. What will these guys do next? That remains to be seen. Dylan Clark has an open track right now. Scott Wheeler does as well. Adam Bozzi tried the ultimate overcut, and actually the ultimate undercut, as a matter of fact, seeing every other driver cut it a bit over. And will the 49 come down to pit road this time by? It looks like that he will. Takes Dylan Clark right down there with him. Going to take Scott Wheeler. That he will indeed. And Connor Holden set to come in this time by. Let's find out as he comes out of the stripe. Yes, he will. Going to take Jason McKee. He does not take Tyler Rush, though. And it looks like now does not take Matthew Rodriguez. A few more drivers going to try to make it a bit more of a risky run, as Zellner came down pit road. Called that his strategy call. 1 lap down, however, he still is, and his winning chances now might be down the drain, as he's pretty far off of the new leader as it stands. That is Tyler Rush, who has some big pressure from the 43, and Andrew Baker. And Baker is on a new set as far as we are concerned. 14-lap-old set compared to a 39-lap-old set, but both drivers have a bit of wear and tear on their cars. Tyler Rush going to go up to the higher side, tries to get a bit of a wider block there. These two Chevy Camaros battling big. It looks like Kenny Brooks might want a piece of the action. They're now going to be right there in a 3-car strain, as it's going to be now Matthew Rodriguez in second, Terry Brooks in third, and it looks like out of all the drivers up in front, DJ Stagner cycles out to the lead as Dylan Clark falls way back once again. It's going to be Kendall Kerr up there in the grill of the 64. It's going to be Stagner leading effectively with Kendall Kerr in second, Casey Heschel in third, and then Dylan Clark in fourth. Alan Koodman is still there in fifth, and I do believe Roberto Ramirez gains big, takes Winstead with him, takes Brad Kress, takes Scott Wheeler, all of them going to go, and now they're right there in tow with the man who led that race for oh so long. 8 Machine now has his followers, and Roberto Ramirez is the one who leads them all. Down to the pit road this time by, going to be Rodriguez there with Terry Brooks. You don't see him on frame just yet, but now you should. It's going to be Rodriguez and Brooks there. Take a look at Ryan Pollard coming in at the same time. Tyler Rush has still yet to do just that. 40 laps in this time by. Look at the win stage number 2. He just needs to come down the line and get that win for the stage, but it looks like that he might not do. Brooks gets by real quick, and he might just give away that stage break. He's 8 seconds ahead of Colton Gardner. As it stands, this could be the stage win being thrown away. Let's find out. 4 seconds adrift. And it's going to be 2. It is going to be 1. And it looks like at the end of the line, I'm not sure. At the end of the day, it could be Rush or Colton Gardner. Take it back just a bit. It looks like Tyler Rush on pit road wins the second stage, but only just. How about that? Tyler Rush comes down to pit road the perfect time and barely gets that stage win over that number 40 machine. Garner almost had it. He does not, though. And now he's going to have to think of a bit more to get some bonus points. How about it indeed? A race on a pit road to get the stage win. And that is how it is settled. Tyler Rush wins stage number 2. And he's on pit road. And he's fallen back 12 spots immediately thereafter. Jason Harris is in second. It's going to be Jason Harris in second and Colton Gardner in first. The only drivers that have not yet put a pit stop down in this race. And how about that? The number 40, oh so close to getting it done on that last lap. Not going to be a stage 2 winner, but he was quite close as the number 40 comes down and in. Jason Harris, the experiment is over, and 41 laps of racing up in front leads to DJ Stagner as your top man on the board, and he has the number 21 right there with him. It's Kendall Kerr on the back bumper and laying back just a bit as they go up to speeds of about 186, 87, 88. It looks like touching 190 going into the first turn that time through, and the 64 out in his own world. It seems like Kendall Kerr and DJ Stagner have the strategies to beat, and now with 34 laps remaining, they are out in no man's land. But take a look out for Dylan Clark. He has no drivers to get through immediately. He has that clean air, and he has a long run car to go right with him, so that number 5 might just have what it takes to follow them all back at the end. The 5 did it last time, got up to third, just a few car lengths away from your leader, and now might just have what it takes to get it done 2 spots better. And it, of course, remains to be seen here as DJ Stagner has that lead. Kendall Kerr right there with them. These two are the only guys in real contention right now as they come across the line for lap number 43 of 75. The top 2 within about a tenth of a second. And then Casey Heschel about a second back on the both of them. And then from there on out, going to be Dylan Clark in 4th and Alan Kuhlman there in 5th. Brad Kress going to be in 6th, though, and now he's got Chad Winstead right up on him. And take a look at the rearview mirror of that Chad Winstead machine. Well, no, Chad Winstead watched the number 29 in his rearview mirror, but not just yet. This is off of Brad Kress's door pane, or actually window pane, as we are not looking off the hood just yet. That number 29 right now has about a 0.3 of a second advantage over Chad Winstead. Using it quite nicely. He is indeed using all that momentum as a catalyst for some more speed, and he gets it done off corner exit once again and comes into turn 3 with that big edge on his adversary. Coming down the stripe once through, it's going to be the number 64, leading with 32 laps to do it here. He has had one great race. His strategy is second to none. And that sublime strategy, quite frankly, is the reason that he's here battling for just a bit more. Kendall Kerr is going to be right there trying to get it in. As that number 21 right now trying to put the piece together and make them fit. And as they come down to the stripe, Casey Heschel is there in 3rd. And Dylan Clark is back in frame. As it stands, about 3 seconds off of your leaders. And he is not faster just yet. Looks to be about dead even, if not actually a bit slower. When that long run comes into effect, and no, that he will be the man to keep an eye out for. He seems to have a knack for longer runs, longer racing. He is always up there whenever it comes to, and when it comes to pushing, coming to shove once more, he has it. Push comes to shove, Dylan Clark might just have a shot, but right now he needs to get that long run speed in effect. He lost a few tenths of a second once again, making a 4-second gap to the leaders there as he loses 3/10 on your leading man in DJ Stagner. Kendall Kerr going to be there in 2nd. Casey Heschel is in 3rd. It is Dylan Clark in 4th as Alan Kuhlman holds on in 5th. The top 5 within 5 seconds. Brad Kress trying to chase down his teammate. He might have a shot. He might just not. It's all not decided just yet as Brad Kress comes down with his teammate, chasing down Dylan Clark in the same vein and taking on to that number 5 machine. Might be their best chance for the victory. As fast as Dylan Clark has been, taken some guys with him before and might just have the capacity to do it once again. The draft proves to be major in smaller groups. The bigger packs, you haven't seen them all too much, but tonight, smaller being bigger, and that advantage that these guys get from having smaller groups, well, it has been noticeable and it has been evident, and once again, tonight might prove that smaller is bigger when it comes to the draft at Long Pond's best raceway. The 5 machine holds on right now. He's got Alan Kuhlman still in that. You're 1 second off. Still so far, nothing much more we can do. As 30 laps to go, we have hit that mark. Has it down to the inside line. He's got that number 76 in Jacob Hamm right in front of him. And now we have 2 retirees in Connor Holden and Jacob Hamm. Not due to incidents here. And right now, those guys are not the last drivers on the field. Ryan Potter, Andrew Baker, and Kenny Brooks are still racing. They are under your retired drivers. So as it stands, still about every driver in contention for at least one position. Right now, position number 1 held quite nicely by Kendall Kerr. DJ Stagner falls back into 3rd here at number 49. Has a big battle to look out for. How about it? Dylan Clark right now going to be in that 4th spot and gaining maybe on those guys behind, but the leader is checking out. Kendall Kerr has it all where he wants to put it, and with 29 to do it, knows that this is the moment where it matters, and these are indeed the moments where it matters the most. Scott Wheeler on his own right now in the 8th spot, holds on about 7 seconds adrift from your leading man, and that number 34, the one Valvoline machine of Chad Winstead, has been up in front. Not a winner just yet this season. Got it done at Mid-Ohio in season 14. But right now, in the 15th, trying to get it back together. It's going to be a Mustang on Mustang battle if Scott Wheeler has what it takes to get up there. But I'm not sure if he does quite just yet or just quite yet, as right now he has it going into the turns quite smooth. Roberto Ramirez in 9th right now. A great run for him. And that would be his 2nd best run on the season, bar his win at Michigan. It will be his 2nd top 10 that we are looking at right now. That 42 is back in good spirit. Almost missed his own race that he sponsored, the Bolts Designs 150 last week, but tonight is a bit of redemption here as he is running on his own quite nicely. Nobody else to bother him. He keeps it going inside that top 10 quite nicely. And how about Caleb Morrissey, the guy we saw in 13th for quite a while, has moved up just a few spots, and with 28 laps to go, Morrissey right there inside the top 10. Has some pressure from Corey Blevins and James McKee right now, but he's been able to get himself into the top 10 battle, just outside of the top 15 battle. That is crucial for the man who was up front in the championship standings very early on in the season. Got it done at Nashville, a very close few victory at Daytona. Got wrecked very late in the going. His teammate almost got it done as well. Either his teammate was in 2nd at the end of that race, and James McKee ended up being the winner, of course. As it stands, Caleb Morrissey looking to get back to his winning ways as that number 6 comes down to the start-finish line once again to start lap 49 on his end at a 75 side-by-side for lead. Casey Heschel takes it down to the inside line here, and Kendall Kerr has nothing more they can do about it but just run it off with a drag race down the back. The high side has the momentum, and Casey Heschel has the edge into each and every turn, and he will use it once more. The tunnel turn looks to be the 49s, this time through DJ Stagner watching on his own as he tries to make a move. He will not make it, and that number 64 looking to get into the mix, watching inside the cockpit of that number 64. You can see that Stagner gets a bit of a diamond arc going to get that perfect exit off of the exit. Indeed, he's going to get it. Exit off the exit. Well, that is what matters. Quarter exit. You need to be quick off it. And right now, the inputs for that 64 are just right to do just that. Heschel goes down to the inside line, breaks the draft, gets a bit of a run going into the first turn. But Kendall Kerr right there with them. He is right intact. The 49, though, keeps it going, and the FORL Racing machine keeps going with the flow, going up, down, left, right like a waterway, and the flow, it is strong with him as he's using it to his advantage for the Misfit Mafia. The 21 machine for Blacktop Racing, though, knows he has a bit more in him. When it comes to the battle for the lead, he'll have to get a bit more power down, as right now, Kendall Kerr, nothing more they can do, as it looks like now Dylan Clark is in fact gaining in. He's only 2 seconds off your race leader. At one time, he was all the way down, 4 seconds back on the top man in the field. So as the leaders distract themselves with a battle, it looks like Dylan Clark is clawing down and getting closer to those guys up in front. So the number 5 machine could be involved in the battle at the tail end of it. Keep an eye out for that. seems like we could have yet another player in the game. Dylan Clark going for second win of the season, first of which came in Watkins Glen, a dominating fashion race for him, and he won it in dominating fashion indeed. Got it done, led the entire hour of that race from pole position every lap in the show. As a matter of fact, he wrecked very late in the race and still got it done. That goes to show how dominating he was all night long. With 25 laps to go here in Pocono, he's getting closer and closer to the leaders once again, getting about a tenth of a second this time through, and it could yet again enough to put a dent in those leaders when it comes to their pace. And right now, the closest battle on the racing circuit is in the 19th spot. It's going to be Robert Kenny and Toby Wedgwood. Wedgwood goes up high, and now Kenny has a bit of an edge going down to the inside line. That number 10 holds on strong, riding on board with that number 10 in. Well, Robert Kenny, Wedgwood has that spot for now, and Toby Wedgwood, whatever the race he's had so far, best qualifying effort in the season as your league owner in 14th right now, running in 18th, as high as 13th early in the going right now. He is not there. Might just have a chance to get there as they go down and try to break the draft. Wedgwood goes swooping, and Robert Kenny follows him just like that into the first turn. And once more, Robert Kenny goes a bit later in that dive, but it won't work out as he goes just a bit wider, just a bit earlier. Going wide into turn number 1, that loses you an awful lot of time. The arc and the apex to that corner is especially important. That corner taken much better by Toby Wedgwood as the number 10 machine has to dial it back and recalculate. Next move out in front, though, is going to be the number 49 of Casey Heschel with 23 laps to do it. Up in front indeed in the body shop, 188. Kendall Kerr is still right there in second. DJ Staggers in third. It's going to be Dylan Clark in fourth. And now Clark is within 2 seconds of your leaders. He's getting about a tenth of a second every lap, and he has 20 tenths of a second to gain. With 23 laps to do it, he could get it done on that pace, but that would be very close to losing all your time, especially if there were to be a late race yellow flag. It would be all for naught if he burns up his equipment. Of course, game over. And right now, that 76 machine of Jacob Halm is going to be the man who makes it a bit closer for Dylan Clark to get up to the draft, has a bit of a pick-off to get more speed, and if he gets through him efficiently, it could be exactly what wants. And with now a total of 23 laps to go, make it 22. TrackHams22.com, the best cameras on iRacing. Track cams for Gormans. Visit our link in the description as we crank it up with 22 to go, live and at the end. As always, TrackHams22.com, crank it up, brought to you by, of course, Track Cams for Gormans on lap number 22. Let's crank it up uninterrupted, and let's enjoy. And with only 19 laps to go, Casey Heschel is still a top man on the board here in the body shop. 188. And how about this for Dylan Clark? Well, he mentioned it to us before the stream. And Strawberry Kid 59, that is indeed the case. The number 5 machine is set to race in Le Mans in real life. So we'll miss next week's race. And how about that? What a way to go out there. Le Mans for a kart race, I believe. It's going to be a great show for Dylan Clark, and we hope he does well out in Le Mans. Of course, the Circuit de la Start, an iconic circuit, and I don't believe they'll be using the full course for that, but how about that indeed? Hunter Searless, we caught us at the right time for a Crank It Up. We are back in action. We were just doing our 22 to go, Crank It Up to get it going. Now, I'm not sure if you guys didn't hear me before. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys did, but you caught us at the right time, Hunter. We just got done with our Crank It Up, courtesy of TrackCams22.com. Every time we hit 22 laps to go, and we are back at about 19 laps to go. Here we go again. Make it Casey Heschel, the leader, with 18 laps to go here, with the man in that number 21, and Kendall Kerr there in second. DJ Stanger going to be in third. Dylan Clark there in fourth, and Brad Kress is in fifth. The top 5 guys spread out a wide margin. Tonight, it's been a no caution race. It's been caution free for 58 laps. What a race it has been out in front. These guys are now starting to lay back in the middle of the field. The closest battle is between Corey Blevins and James McKee. McKee has the edge going through turn 2. It looks like the tunnel turn was his friend, and Caleb Morrissey might be pulling Corey Blevins through, but not enough to change the dynamic. Although the 9 machine might have to hang a bit tougher as they go through once again. Now Caleb Morrissey knows that at the top 10 he just has to hold on with defense, and as a driver out in front of any battle, this is what you want to see. Double file, slowing each other up and pushing each other to the limits, and that could cause even more slowdown. And while these guys do want that spot to get that they are faster, sometimes makes it worse for both drivers. So they come down the front once again, 17 laps to go. The 9 machine is a drag race there, would have been a great finish, but we are not done at all. We're just getting started with the crunch time zone in this race. These drivers pushing to their best of their ability as the number 13 holds on high. James McKee is right there down low. Dylan Petit going to be in 13th, and that Menards number 31 machine has a few drivers he's holding on at once. Terry Brooks right there with Matthew Rodriguez. They're going to go 2 for 1 and pass them right like that. And it's going to be a buy one, get one free when it comes to passing, as now it looks like the number 31 machine is falling far back. Let's go Justin Gibbs and Tyler Rush. Team Turtle Shell all the way. And right now, Tyler Rush holding on quite strong. Well, it looks like he was, but as it stands, Rush is 19 laps down in our standings. And for a driver who's running up front in that top 10, unfortunately tonight, it does not look like he is there in the running. However, the 93 machine of Justin Gibbs is in frame, and now that 93 right behind the battle for the top 15, and he is dialing in slowly but surely to the guys up in front. Coming through once again, 16 laps to go. They'll start that lap. They're pretty far off the leaders here, 26 seconds away from Casey Heschel, but these guys are still battling like it's the last lap. And Brooks has the edge that time. Bottom of the inside line, Matthew Rodriguez goes way high. Does he have the power down the back? It looks like he might just take it, and that he does. Brooks does have a bit of damage on that right side of his car. It seems a bit dented on that end, and it now seems to be coming to affect him, as this is one of the most aerodynamically dependent tracks on the circuit. Now, with the 5 flags last week, it was a great show, but it was a show that did not need much aerodynamic power. Some guys got bent up and still contended. But tonight, you need all that power. You need a perfect car. And right now, while the 23 is holding on, he is not holding through when it comes to the position, as it looks like the 51 might get the edge off the backstretch and into the front. And that he indeed does. At the line, Rodriguez gets it once again. 15 laps to go out here. And the Casey Heschel machine knows that every lap ticking down, getting closer and closer to the checkered flag. That number 49 wants it as bad as anyone else, looking for that first win this season. Kendall Kerr, your pole sitter, wants to go for a great race indeed, starting up front and finishing up front. And right now, DJ Stagner right there in contention. He's looking for win number 1, but he gets in the wall. Big time hit. The 64 keeps it going, but he has to shake it off as Dylan Clark looking to get up there. He's only about 1 second off of your leading drivers. And looking on board, the 5 machine getting more and more time after time. And that time by was about 1/10 of a second quicker than Casey Heschel, so he is gaining at the perfect pace. He has 12/10 of a second to get through. In 14 laps, it would be just right. And that number 5 machine knows that indeed, as that number 49 has been up in front with the battle, trying to hold these guys off. They might be playing it safe. Dylan Clark has been on the aggression all night long. A driver with a passion, and he shows it time after time, hard on his sleeve when it comes to his racing. And Dylan Clark looking for at least a podium, if not a victory, as the checkered flag is in sight for him, as he's going to Le Mans next week, wants to get it done one more time on the sim. Know what he's got in store for these drivers. A two-time winner would lock him in to a good seed in the playoffs the way it's going. A full-time run for him, a win at Watkins Glen, a road course might be right up his alley. And as a rookie, a winner, that has been a great start, quite frankly, to his career in this league. Season 15, a season of surprises. And right now, it's no surprise that Kendall Kerr's battling, but it might be a bit of a surprise to see Casey Heschel up in front, given where we've seen him before, up in front at Dover, a much different track. The 1 mile self-cleaner, well, it's a much different show compared to Pocono. Much slower, a bit more tricky when it comes to the first few turns for it. Of course, there's only 4 turns, and they're all quite similar. Here at Pocono, different turn every time around. Almost like a road course, you have to sort of memorize each time you go through it. With these drivers on his tail, he has had to think quick every time around. At Dover, 125 laps, we got through quite easily. The drivers, well, quite frankly, it was a bit easy to stay out in front for someone like James McKee. Nobody bothered him all race long. When he got it up in front, he just took off. And with 12 laps to go, it looks like Heschel getting set to take off once again. That number 49 machine has himself out in front. Kendall Kerr there in second. Stagner is in third, and he's far from stagnating, as we always say, for the Swamp Motorsports team, right behind Kendall Kerr, and looking to do something when it matters most. But right now, Dylan Clark is in draft range within 1 second, and he is now in frame through these shots. It's not wide shots, it's the normal ones, and right now he's looking to get up to the close-ups, and this time through, he seems to be yet again about 10th and a half faster. So it looks like pace is picking up for Dylan Clark as they come through the front stretch once again. 12 laps to go in a 64-lap run. It has been the longest green flag run all season long, and it's due to be the longest race we've had under green for the entirety of the season, if, of course, we get it done. 188 miles under green. That is nothing short of remarkable. Great drivers, always competitive in the Highline Racing League, and tonight they show it once again. Driving down on the inside, it looks like these guys are riding the seam just a bit instead of going down to the apex. Dylan Clark doing just that. Looks like he knows the line better than anyone right now, as DJ Stagger gets a bit of a block there from Kendall Kerr. 11 laps to go. These guys are getting a bit dicier up in front, and it might just be a signal what is to come. The number 5 machine, he is getting closer and closer. Right now, falls back to 1.1 seconds off of your leader. And on this Dylan Clark, well, he's been great on his own, but the dirty air has been a bit of a challenge all night long. It's something he's going to have to overcome if he wants this victory, and he wants it bad, that's for sure. But does he? Well, he'll have to prove it, as the dirty air has been setting him off time after time. Now he's only 0.8 of a second away, gets it all back just like that, and the draft is in his favor as they come through once more. Your leader just out of frame in the top 2 battle right now. Casey Heschel is being able to run away, but Dylan Clark is getting there, and the first turn he uses it quite well once again. Make it 8 flat. It was about 7.5 tenths that time through, so 3/4 of a second off of your leading driver after 66 laps of racing. How about that? The number 5 machine getting faster and faster every time through, and 10 laps to get it done. It has been a hell of a run for him, but Casey Heschel looks to cap off this race with a win. Kendall Kerr there in second, Stagner in third, Dylan Clark is in fourth, and the final man in this equation for the top 5 is getting pushed big by his teammate, and Brad Kress gets sent deep into the corner. It looks like he takes it quite well. Alan Koopman tries to get it back, but it looks like that time by does not, as they come through once again. MDLXL, thank you for stopping by. Caleb Morrissey in 10th right now, and not in a battle, certainly where he wants to be. And we saw before, James McKee and, of course, Corey Blevins were both right there on him, but now it seems like everyone's gotten a bit cooled down, and the 6 has the edge to take home yet another solid points day, as he's now getting closer and closer to Roberto Ramirez. But right now, that gap is about 9 seconds, so he's getting closer. But what does closer mean when it comes down to this type of pace? 1/10 of a second faster, you have to gain about a second a lap to have a chance at Roberto here. So Ramirez out on his lonesome in 9th, running well. Casey Heschel has a great run going too. He is still up there by 0.2 of a second, and he has the battle raging on right behind him. Dylan Clark now about 9/10 of a second off with 9 laps to go. He'll have to pick up the pace just a bit more if he wants this one even worse. But it looks like 8 laps is going to be the deciding factor. This lap could be the final one to see if that pace is sustainable, as Dylan Clark was close, about 7/10 of a second in. But now, Casey Heschel running away once again and breaking the draft here at Pocono. That is a challenge. But the 49 machine watching in that cockpit camera, he is doing just that and doing it well. So it seems like he's got something figured out. He's about 4/10 of a second away from your man in second. And it might just be that Dylan Clark is gaining on everyone but the leader right now, as Heschel has been quick. But is it the drivers in the back stacking up to get a drafting pair up? Might just be. We have seen that happen before. The 49 getting some more room. It could be a bigger run generated as a result, but it looks like Kendall Kerr goes just a bit higher that time by. Doesn't get the exit he needs, and let's find out. Coming to the line once again, it'll be 7 laps to go with Casey Heschel there in first. It's going to be Kendall Kerr still in second, Stagner in third, and Dylan Clark in fourth. Brad Kress is still in the top 5 here, and Alan Kuhlman is still trying to give him a shove once again, but Winstead has been on his own for quite a while. How about this? Scott Wheeler is there about a half a second off, but he's been there for about 25 laps. Solid. This is a 30-lap stint they've had so far, and with 7 to go, it is indeed a one-stop run. So one stop, and then he goes shopping for positions. One goes down to the inside line, and that is Jacob Halm, as Winstead blinks just a bit on our end there to 69 laps in. A nice run it has been indeed for the Flow Racing 49, but will it be nice enough to get that checkered flag? That remains to be seen, as now it looks like Kendall Kerr backing up his stuff, and Huckuk requesting a Caleb Morrissey in car. Let's find out what's going on there inside that number 6. And Caleb Morrissey right there looks to be going through the final turn onto the front stretch. This time by pit exit right there off his, of course, window. Not going to see it quite well. And closer to the end of this lap. And now you see pit exit even closer off this camera. And inside Morrissey's cockpit, it looks like it's all clean. And if we look off the rear view, well, not much to be worried about right now, save for James McKee. And now McKee is back and gaining big as that number 9 machine fighting the 6 for a spot. It's the 6-9 battle in position number 10, and it's getting fiercer with 6 more to do it. Jason McKee goes down to the inside line that time by. What a way to do it, as soon as we go right to that on board, that number 6. Of course, very vibrant pick. Dude, now in quite the battle, and it has been a vibrant night for that number 6 machine. The channel lock 6 as always locking it down, and as the SP Designs 9 right behind him. Great partners of this league, SP Designs is one of which. Right now, the Morrissey machine just trying to hold on until the night is over. Corey Blevins now falling back big into 12th. Hayes McKee might give one final run for the money for that 6 machine. Take a look out for that as TJ Stanger goes up high, and Kendall Kerr, he saved his stuff, and now he's back in the way. Dylan Clark half a second away from the leaders as well. He's getting faster and faster. He's taking the line right there with them, and the draft is playing a big factor. It seems to work the best with these 4-5 car packs. And that's what we're doing once again right now. Kendall Kerr falls back in the third, and now Stagner looks to be the catbird man as they come out of the tunnel turn. Oh my goodness, is that what's going to be? Yes, it is! It's a wreck! Unbelievable! It's undeniable as Kendall Kerr is blown up with 5 laps to go, and he's coming back on the track, and he has parked it. We have a yellow flag with 5 laps to go, and Kendall Kerr's night is done. Let's take a look at just what happened. And Kendall Kerr from position number 3 goes all the way around, and that will be his night. He gets slow off the exit, and it looks like Clark taps him and takes him right around. The number 21 destroyed. The front end is absolutely killed and unbelievable. We are going into overtime as the number 21 goes right back on the track here, and everyone avoids him, but not sure what that was about. Might have lost the motor, might have lost the power, might have not even seen what was going on from there. 4 laps to go, and Kendall Kerr's night ends from the front of the field. And Casey Heschel is their leading man with 4 laps left. I can't believe what we just saw. And now this race going into its one and only overtime attempt after 71 laps of clean racing. With that being said, guys, this could be, of course, one finish to remember. We have been waiting for an overtime finish, of course, not hoping to have one. we're not expecting one as well. A late race caution, aggression is now overflowing, and the next yellow could end the race. That's if we get one. This is how it goes in the Highline Racing League. One overtime attempt. Now, get it? That will be the race. The checkered flag will fall, and that will be it. A pace lap. That will do it for tonight's Baadteshop 188. Casey Heschel stays there up in front. Now, Stagner is in second. Dylan Clark in third. Brad Kress going to be fourth, and Alan Kuhlman there in fifth. Chad Winstead going to be seventh. Scott Wheeler is in eighth, as Roberto Ramirez is there in ninth. Rounding out your top 10, it is Caleb Morrissey. So with 73 laps on the board, I am not sure what the move will be for these leaders here, as they all come down to the stripe once again for the first time under yellow. Every driver moving it up, down, inside, out, and then some. As you could read to do it, we now have a few retirees on the board. Kendall Kerr now 2 laps down, as is a lot of drivers in the back of the field going out on the pit road. And Casey Heschel with a decisive drive down to the inside, takes them all in. And now that number 34 on pit road as well. They all come out, and it looks like Alan Kuhlman is now your man in second. Scott Wheeler going to be in fourth. Roberto Ramirez going to be in fifth. And Casey Heschel going to be in seventh, as Caleb Morrissey goes up into sixth. But take a look at this. Man out in front, taking the track position, it is Terry Brooks. Now, I'm not sure if he's been saving fuel all night long or what now, but he has that lead, and he does not want to relinquish it. He's got it now, and he'll have to defend for 2 green flag laps on old tires. Now, this is risky, and it could end the race prematurely if he gets caught up in an incident, so this could be the diciest play all season long to this point. How about that? Now Terry Brooks has the chance to win after all night in the mid-pack. He's now got that edge. Kenny Brooks there looking to get his lap back. So is Andrew Baker. Chad Winstead, though, wins the race off pit road in that number 34 for Valvoline. Once again, the 34 right up there with him. It's going to be Alan Kuhlman there in second and Scott Wheeler in third. 2 drivers down to pit road that time by, and it will be Terry Brooks. Stays right out, goes down to the inside line, choosing the inside for this run. That will be perhaps it when it comes out of the yellows, as it's 1 lap to go. Already a 1 lap extension on this race, 74 out of 76, and that will be all she wrote. This is your first and only overtime attempt, as Scott Wheeler pulls up to the inside on the 3rd spot. Alan Kuhlman there in 4th, and this will be the end of all ends here in Pocono after a 71 lap run green. We'll go and finish this one off with 2 laps to decide every spot in this show. With this being said, the 23 now has a chance to get it done. He's on a 34 lap old set. We mentioned it before, and the degradation is major. He was about 1 second off the pace every lap compared to a driver on new tires. So I'm not sure what the game plan is for this 23. The drivers right beside him they'll have to work with someone around them to get by that 23 if he turns out to be a hazard. He got exactly what he wanted and chooses to stay out in front. This is no surprise that Terry Brooks wants to switch it up and get yet another strong run podium in Pensacola. And he said Pocono is one of his favorite tracks, so tonight he might just be able to prove it when it matters the most in the final run to the checkers. With that being said, the iRacing official pace car getting into it. Once more, this yellow flag changes everything. Dylan Clark still up in that top 10, and Kendall Kerr falls back, gets the worst of it, that's for sure. Now, Brooks, with the best of it, would prove that he has what it takes to get it done as a winner. And let's find out whether or not that is the case. Coming to the green flag this time by the iRacing official pace car will dive in, and this will be the final run. No matter what, the fans are on their feet. It's a packed crowd here in Long Pond as the green flag's out for first and only caution of the night. The restart is underway, and Brooks now being swallowed through. And Winstead clears every lane that time by. Brooks still going to be in that top 5. They're going almost full wide here immediately, and the pack is getting dicey as Brooks gets some contact. Casey Heschel down to the inside line. Alan Alan Kuhlman now up in front. How about this? Roberto Ramirez going to be in the third spot. They're all breaking through, and the 49 machine is in trouble. The 23 of now Terry Brooks gets into Caleb Morrissey. He saves it, and he keeps it going. Morrissey going to keep driving it. They're getting oh so dicey, and everyone going up, down, left, right. Although Morrissey now falls back big, almost had a top 10 locked up, but now he's fading outside, perhaps the top 15, if he doesn't get it shaked up. It looks like he'll be in 10th right now. McKee going 8th, and Lafty Rodriguez is in 9th. 1 lap to go here in Pocono, and the Chad Winston machine leads the way. He's got that up in front. Alan Kuhlman, though, is in second. This will be at the final 2.5 miles. The race is official, no matter what happens. Kuhlman right there in tow. Roberto Ramirez, if anything happens, well, he might just get caught up as the race winner. Up to the inside, it's going to be Alan Kuhlman. He's going down for the fake out, goes down low. They'll be side by side going to the tunnel turn. Look at this. The 8 machine now dives into it. The tunnel turn, it is going, and the 34 now gets himself all crossed up. This will be at the final turn to get it done. Kuhlman going to be there on the high side as they go into turn number 3. Chad Winstead with the lunge, with the send. Will it work? I'm not quite sure. The drive off turn 3 is all he needs, and it looks like the 8 machine gets it all. Coming to line after an overtime finish. He has the edge, and it'll be a drag race, but it's no use. Alan Kuhlman wins the Body Shop 188 in a shocking, thrilling overtime finish. And Alan Kuhlman had it made on that final pass through the tunnel turn, and he used that momentum perfect. A catbird seat, and it pays off for Alan Kuhlman. How about this? The 8 machine getting congratulated by everyone in this track. Pocono Raceway came alive tonight. How about it? Every driver there, Rodriguez, Bozzi, going to be Scott Wheeler. Now, I'm not sure if everyone's going to be quite happy, but at the end of the day, one blacktop teammate, Rex, one gets the checkered flag, and the 8 machine goes through for the win. Gets it done here in Pocono Raceway. The checkered flag falls indeed for Alan Kuhlman. The results will be on your screen as he gets it done by a total of 1/10 of a second for Chad Winstead in second, Roberto Ramirez in third, 2/10 off, and Scott Wheeler there in fourth, 6/10 of a second removed from the win. Going to be Casey Heschel in fifth. Dylan Clark returns and rebounds for sixth as Brad Kress holds on for seventh. James McKee finishes in eighth, and Matthew Rodriguez is there in ninth, finishes where he started with the Adam Bozzi machine there in 10th. Then it's going to be Corey Blevins in 11th. Caleb Morrissey, a hard charger from 25th to 12th. They're in 12th as Scott Zellner's in 13th as a return race. And Toby Wedgwood, best finish this season, qualifies, of course, where he finishes and finishes where he qualifies in 14th as Justin Gibbs finishes in position number 15th. Going to be Colton Garner, 16th. Dylan Petit in 17th. Robert Kenny in 18th. Jay Stagner there in 19th. Chance Duckworth rounds out your top 20 with Jason Harris, the final man on your lead lap. Terry Brooks going to finish one lap down in 22nd. It tries the, of course, daring strategy, does not get it done. Jacob Hom finishes 23rd, Kendall Kerr 24th, and Andrew Baker in 25th. As it's going to be actually 24th for Kerr indeed, and then 26th for Kenny Brooks. Iries go as follows with Tyler Rush 27th, Ryan Potter in 28th, and Connor Holden there in 29th as Dylan Body does not take the green flag and finishes dead last. And the burnout begins for Alan Kuhlman and that number 8 machine ready to celebrate here in Long Pond. And with a thriller of an overtime finish, Alan Kuhlman wins here in Pocono. How about that race? The number 8 machine burning it down with the Brass Pro Shops helmet, the Bass Pro Shops machine. Not tonight, but he gets it done for every sponsor as the Flow Racing 8 heads back into victory lane. Second win on the season, first of which came at Darlington. And now reversing it, perhaps in the pit road or reversing it all the way. It looks like the Kuhlman machine going to go on an extra trip around the track. Let's see what he's up to here in that number 8. It looks like at the moment, as we go live, getting up to the third finish line. And how about that? Let's get your interview system up here and now. what a way to win it for Alan Kuhlman, as we'll get him in right into the broadcast booth. How about it indeed, and that overtime sets the score and settles it all for the Alan Kuhlman machine. The 8 comes out on top after a thriller of a 2-lap shootout. How do you feel after this one?
Man, I'm excited. I'm more excited for this one than I was Darlington a couple weeks ago.
Coming back to victory lane, always a great feeling, and this time it was a bit of a thriller. You dominated Darlington, but this time you had to work for it. So what was the key to your success on that final run?
Oh, without a doubt, that 2-tire call. And then my lane choice on the choose cone. I didn't want to be behind the 23 because I knew he stayed out on older tires. So I figured if I could at least line up behind the 10, I'd have at least somewhat of a little bit of advantage, and it all worked out for us. I can't think of the last time 2 tires worked out for me at the end of a race.
And it looks like the risk does indeed pay off. But a long run we had before this race, of course, came to its overtime and 71 laps under green. So how did that pan out for you as you were up front in the top 5 for the good majority of it?
Yeah, it was good racing. I feel like the first run of the race I was better than the second run, so I was just trying to just stay in there and salvage a top 10, and then we had the caution come out and cars just fell our way. So hopefully we can crank out a couple more of these wins before the playoffs start.
And looking to put the power down as the playoffs are in mind. Now, next race on the schedule going to be Chicagoland and then Talladega as the playoff cutoff, but getting some good bonus points here to get yourself in championship contention. How do you feel going to Joliet, Illinois next time we go racing?
We'll see. I haven't raced there in probably a year. And I mean, normally 1.5 miles aren't my favorite. But Chicagoland's a good track. I think if we can get all the lanes opened up, it'll put on some good racing. And we'll go out there and try to stay up front and maybe try to steal another one next week.
And we'd love to see some great racing. Alan Kuhlman, always up front in a great show, and this time by the overtime gets him that win, and he gets it in the overtime. And how about that indeed? Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Yeah, Chad Winstead. I already mentioned it to him, but much respect on that green-white checker. That was good, hard racing. There's not many other guys I'd trust to be around on a green-white checker for the win like that. So much respect to him. I just want to give a shout out to Kendall also. He coached me through those last 2 laps, so I probably couldn't have done it without him. My whole crew, Blacktop Racing, and everybody who shows up every week. We always have some good, clean racing, and look forward to this every week.
Absolutely a great show with some good, clean racing indeed. But the action comes at the end, and Alan Kuhlman gets it done here in the Body Shop 188. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
There we have it. Alan going to be on his way, and the second man on the board, Chad Winstead. Oh, so close to the victory tonight, and that final run had you up in that battle. Second here, though, in Pocono. How do you feel after this one?
Well, I mean, I feel better that I got second instead of like 8th where I was running before that caution came out, but being so close, man, it definitely stings. I thought I was going to be able to hold it, and took 2 tires. Obviously, I felt like I had nothing to lose and thought the car might free up a little bit if I took 2, and felt really good that first lap, and then just kind of drove it a little bit too hard coming out of turn 1, and Alan was able to get a run on me, and it's just really hard to get a run back.
And the run back, not able to get it, but a great run nonetheless overall. Now, everything changed with that final 5-lap showdown there, including the caution laps, but 71 under green, and you were there for the most part, picking people through, picking them apart, and getting up to almost the top 5 naturally there. So what was your key to success, the long run that we saw very early in the going?
Yeah, I've just been sticking to a strategy on these longer racetracks of just trying to be a little bit conservative on the starts and save a little bit of tire, and just it seems to work out for me. I'm able to run guys down later in the runs. So, I mean, I was having fun. I was having a blast. Thought I was going to get to Alan and Brad there and be able to get a top 5 out of it anyway. But, you know, kudos to Alan. I don't know if he took 2 or 4 tires or what, or how he ended up behind me, but yeah, just hate that it was so close again. I feel like I've just given too many of these wins away in both the Premier League and the Truck Series League the last couple weeks. So gotta turn it around and get back in victory lane soon.
And look at the return to Victory Lane and Chicagoland, the next opportunity to do just that. So how do you feel going to Chicagoland for the next race and the penultimate round before the playoffs?
I feel really good. I love Chicagoland. That style of track seems to suit me pretty well. So hopefully I can carry the momentum of this one into next week and keep climbing back up the points ladder, because hopefully that made a pretty good dent tonight again, and just want to sit comfortably in the points going into the playoffs.
And working his way back into the playoffs here, Chad Winstead, yet another strong run here in Pocono. Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Thanks to all my friends and family out there that's watching. And thank you to you guys for this broadcast and everybody for putting on the league as always. And it's a lot of fun. So something I look forward to every Thursday. Thank you.
Well, there we have it, Chad Winstead. A great race to look forward to watching on our end as he gets it done on the podium second tonight here in Pocono. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And there we have it. Winstead going to be on his way, and the final man on the podium will be Roberto Ramirez. And how about that? Looks like since Michigan, things have been looking a bit better for your situation. A podium once again, and able to claw it all back in that restart. How do you feel after this one?
I feel kind of conflicted. I feel really bad for my teammate KC. He led my set race, deserved to win, but I just wasn't to be today. But I feel good about how my race went. I took 2 tires in the last restart. I figured anything to try it would help, but I didn't think that I would be 1 at 4. I thought I'd maybe be alone on that one and try and hold everyone off. I come off a pit road and I'm like 4th. No, yeah, I restarted 6th, I think. And the restart was pretty interesting. I thought I was going to get walled coming out of 1, and then I'm clear of everyone, and I look, and there's only 2 cars ahead of me. So that felt good, and just to bring home P3 is really nice. I felt like this is one of my more complete races of the season. A lot of bad luck, a lot of self-inflicted bad luck, and obviously the win at Michigan was good, but I'm still not even in the playoffs yet. I think there's a couple guys below the top 10 that have wins, so I was glad to see Chad have a good run in front of me. But overall, I can't complain about my race. Just once again, hate it for my teammate Casey because he helps me out so much, and I just hate to see him lose like that.
And a close call for your teammate there on the victory, and eventually getting close on your end as well. Now, 71 laps and a one-stop strategy under green. How were you able to pick up the pieces and get through the field before the overtime?
Just going a little easier on the short run. I think it hurt me too much on the second run because I never was able to get it all back. I was really fast on the first run of the race, though. Came to life with about 5 laps left in each run. But yeah, just saving a little bit. Trying not to go too slow and just kind of take it easy.
And taking it easy there on the long run, but Chicagoland might see a long run, might see some more action-packed racing with once again, another overtime. Chicagoland up next for round number 11. How do you feel going to that one?
I don't really know how I feel about that one. Ran good here in the Xfinity car last time we came here, but that's a completely different animal. But 1.5 mile tracks aren't really my thing, but it's one of the few I've had success at in the series. So, hopefully it'll be similar next week.
And looking to run back into the podium, yet another here for Roberto Ramirez, looking to put it all together for perhaps a playoff run that was unexpected to begin this one. Now, any final thoughts? Anyone you'd like to thank finally?
Not really. Just thanks for putting on the broadcast as always, and hopefully I can put together some more runs. Talk to you more soon.
There we have it. Ramirez looking to get back in the podium tonight, though. He is indeed a returning guest. Third tonight here in the Body Shop 188. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And there we have it. Ramirez going to be on his way as he is a man in third, but Alan Cummin gets it done again here in Pocono. Dominance at Darlington leads to some polarizing racing here in Pocono, and coming through with second win on the season. Chicagoland going to be next up here in the Highline Racing League at 9:30 Eastern. As always, we'd love to have you there, as our next race live on FDN will be on Saturday with the Full Send Super Speedway Series and the Stock Car Racing League Red Line Truck Series. 2 events there as well. And as you could see in slow motion on your end, Alan Kuhlman making the pass on Chad Winstead. A powerful run off the first turn as every driver flies by in slow-mo one more time. That will... We thank you for watching our presentation of the Highline Racing League Premier Series, sponsored by ASC Services and Supply. I've been David Croy tonight. We hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation here on FTN. If you did, of course, be sure to leave a like on the channel and subscribe. We'd love to have you throughout the entirety of the season. Thank you all for watching. In coverage of the Baadteshop 108 round 10 of the season here in the Highline Racing League Premier Series. Thank you all for watching. We hope you have a great night.